Stephanie, it's about time someone did a show skewering social media and influencers. Thank God.
Thanks. I take like only a third of the credit for it, but I was really glad to do it.
Well, thank you, a third, because it's about time. It's so ripe for skewering, and there were so many wonderful observations that are so incredibly accurate.
I thank you for saying so. I'm going to give Laura and our actors all the credit for that. You know, we shot this about 2 years ago, and the only platform that is not on there is TikTok. So I would say it's still pretty relevant, and I give Laura credit for that.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of people who are on TikTok. Everyone's resisting right now. I don't know why, but so the point of it is it's about social influencers and how they present themselves and how they create fame for themselves in this incredibly artificial way.
Right.
And you play Dr. Miriam Spicelli, social anxiety disorder specialist.
Right.
What a relief that there's someone out there.
Except for it's her. She's such a terrible therapist. She's like a fatuous, self-important idiot, which makes her very fun to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, the truth is, I can only imagine there has to be a growing field of mental health experts dealing with social media anxiety in particular. I mean, there must be.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be on the wilder side of that.
It is, and I think it's great that she's so, she's kind of a little bit forbidding when she's trying to be healing. But I must say, she wears the best blouses I've ever seen in film.
Well, we had such a laugh about that because the idea is that she thinks she's really changing it up every day, but it was just 5 of the different cream blouses. Yeah, it was just the same. And it's funny, my friends who like fashion really, really got that. They thought that was hilarious. She thinks she's mixing it up. Yeah, she's not.
And that's how rigid she is. And probably, understanding the whole social media impact.
I suspect there's a part of her, and this is part of what I like about the movie. I'm sure she wants to be a little famous in social media too. She wants to be known as the social media influencer therapist. So that I kind of like adding that little layer of her own ego.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's a great portrayal. And of course, I'm thinking of you as Alexandra Cabot, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's her next job.
Right. Well, it's just, I call myself woman with graduate degrees. That's my specialty. That's who I get typecast as.
Well, is it typecasting? I mean, I can't do it.
I don't know. You know, they are very different, actually. They are. It's a huge relief to be able to play a comedy. I don't get to do it very often. So when I do, I really enjoy it.
Yes. And I understand that you're quite funny too. So
I don't know where you heard that, but I hope it's true. Maybe they're lying, but it's a good lie.
Well, I believe it.
Thanks.
Whatever. But social media is so strong now, has been for so long. And I'm wondering, have you given any thought in terms of, and I'm asking you as a therapist, as a person who plays a therapist, do you think it has legs? Do you think it can continue?
Oh yeah, I think it's growing and growing. I also think no matter what we feel about social media, whether we like it or we dislike it or we're on it or we're not on it, you can't help but look at the number of likes that you have for any post or the number of retweets or whatever. And that becomes some metric for your own self-worth, no matter how hard you try to resist it. And so it has this very powerful hold on us. And I don't really see that going away.
No, but I mean, is exhaustion going to set in at some time? Will there be, and I know the answer to this already, will there be a return to an analog life, a different life?
I hope so. It's funny. I saw a picture from the set of SVU the other day, and it was in the context of talking about how COVID has stopped all production. It may have been in Vanity Fair. I can't recall. But anyway, it shows, a bunch of people sitting around backstage and everybody's on their phone, right? Everybody's just on their phone. And I remember we used to read backstage, and not only was it kind of quieter, but it meant that you could put whatever you're reading down, get into your scene, get into your groove, and stay there. And now we're constantly referring to these stupid appendages that we can't seem to get rid of. I say, as I'm talking on a computer to you, so there's all these different layers of it. I don't know. I would like to think that we can get to a place where we have appointment viewing with our social media, as opposed to it's a constant hum in the background.
That is a very good idea.
I try to do that when I travel so that I'm not on the freaking phone all the time. It just
Yeah,
ruins the moment.
yeah, it does. I try and be outdoors a lot, and I try to garden and walk, and inevitably I think, wow, you're doing really well. But I notice there's a phone in my hand, and it happens. I get so angry with myself. I don't want to be tied to it. And,
No, I don't think we're trying to be, but we are.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's built that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is your first co-executive role, right?
Yes.
Well, how did it go?
Well, I mean, it was pretty easy in one way, in that Laura and Danielle did all of the heavy lifting, and I just called in some favors and found some money and got to say yes or no to stuff. So in that way, it was great. It was bad because I really, really hate watching myself on camera. And in the editing process, there were 6 days straight where I did nothing but watch the movie from start to finish, and make notes during. And I would get to my scenes and I would think, who hired this woman? This is painful, sucks. And I thought, I gotta really watch out for that one next time. But
That's
on the
fun.
whole, very enjoyable.
I hear about actors sometimes, I used to hear about it, how they would not watch their rushes. And,
Ugh.
I mean, I understand that. It's
Yeah, you always feel like there's been a grave error. Like,
a
oh, they're
great
gonna fire
error.
me. Yeah, they're gonna fire me. They didn't mean to hire this person. Gotta
You're,
get past that.
and I was in news forever, and I have copies of all my interviews, and I can't bring
Really?
watch them.
It's too bad, because I bet you're great, and I bet whoever you're interviewing is quite interesting. But you can't enjoy it.
No.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It's
I get it.
and of course when you're watching rushes, you've got everyone around you because you're also the producer.
I know. Unfortunately, I spent a lot of time watching other people, and I think our cast is so talented that it was a joy. It was really delightful.
And speaking of the cast, you had to be very careful choosing who played the characters, because the characters are each is so unique and defined and off the wall. I mean,
They're
it's
very specific, right?
very specific.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you had to be very careful. And so how do you know when you start off?
I think for the most part, we were instinctively looking for the people who we found, with the exception of Amanda, who plays Josie Z, the fashion influencer. And she came into that audition dressed like that. I mean, shaved head, big makeup, big face. And we thought, it was not the person we were looking for. And then she immediately became the only person who could do that role, which that was a really fun surprise.
Yeah, and she has this incredible bouncing energy.
Oh
So
my gosh. In real life too. I mean, she's
yeah,
considerably kinder. Yeah, but she's on fire.
and the young man who plays the influencer is having an existential crisis.
Oh, Dan.
He's very
Yeah,
good.
Quilton. He's so talented. He was in a show on Broadway that, of course, is they put on pause, and he was in Evan Hansen right before we were lucky enough to have him in our cast. So we do have some really talented people in that show.
Yes. Now, so what have you heard about a return to production
You mean in general?
in general?
It's funny. I am supposed to do a show for Lifetime in Canada. In fact, I was supposed to shoot it at the beginning of April, and naturally that's not happening. And I am doing some voiceover for a show on Hulu called Solar Opposites. So that looks like it will happen in the middle of June, but that's voiceover.
Yeah.
I suspect it's going to be a little bit of time before production on camera finds its way.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I heard yesterday, and I haven't read it anywhere, someone just said that even the Academy Awards were thinking of going virtual. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't. I think just groups of people are really scary right now.
Yeah.
I mean, in the production world, I think it's just no one wants to be the person who makes the wrong call and exposes a bunch of other people, to getting sick.
Yeah.
We just don't know enough about it now to really make those kinds of decisions, I think.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, this is quite time in the US. So look after yourself, Stephanie.
I shall. I feel very
Yes.
lucky to be where I am, and I hope we find ourselves in a better, more fair place when this is
Yeah,
over.
I do as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.